Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. I be to our beloved lecturer, Associate Professor Asmahani. My name is Nurul Izzah binti Faizal and our group members are Wan Hafizah binti Farwa Arifin, Nasria binti Mat Nasiruddin and Vilmaraj anak lelaki Segar. Next slide. So today we are going to present our assignment 2 of international trade. So introduction of free trade. Free trade has long been celebrated for its ability to promote economic growth, enhance innovation, and provide consumers with a wider range of affordable goods by allowing countries to focus on industries where they have a comparative advantage. Free trade often leads to a greater efficiency and economic prosperity. Despite these benefits, many countries still opt for protectionist policies such as tariff, quotas, and subsidies to shield their domestic industries from foreign competition. So these policies are often seen as a way to safeguard jobs, protecting emerging industries, or preserve national security interests. Though protectionism is often criticized for distorting the markets and limiting the global economic cooperation, it continues to be widely used strategy, especially among the developing countries. For these nations, protecting young industries from larger global players can give them the time they need to grow, develop their capabilities, and eventually compete on a global stage. In some cases, protectionism can also address some concerns like unfair trade practice, food security, or the preservation of strategic sectors critical to nation welfare. This essay will delve into 5 argument reasons countries to embrace the protectionism, offering real-world example to illustrate each point. Next slide. So I will continue the presentation by explaining one by one about the argument 1, protecting infant industries, which is a key rationale for protectionism. What is infant industry protection? Let's begin by understanding the concept of infant industry protection. An infant industry refers to a sector that is still in its developmental phase. For example, like one, the lack of maturity, resources, or skill to compete effectively against the established global players. These industries are often critical for a country's economic further as they represent opportunities for innovation, industrial diversification, and technological advancement. For neutral industries, like government may implement protectionist policies such as tariff on imported goods, which make foreign products more expensive and less competitive domestically. They might use import quotas to limit the quantity of competing products that can enter the market, or provide subsidies to help the domestic firms to reduce the cost and invest in growth. For example, like infant industry protection is about giving the emerging sectors the tools and time they need to become self-sufficient and internationally competitive, laying the groundwork for sustainable economic. South Korea provides a compelling example of successful industry of infant protection. In the 1960s and in 1970s, the government implemented strategic trade barriers and offered support to domestic automakers. Crucially, they tied this support to clear performance benchmark, pushing firms like Hyundai to innovate and grow. The results speak for themselves. Like today, South Korea's automobiles industry is a global leader. Next examples is India offers a constructing example. Like after the independence, its automobile industry was heavily protected, but this overprotection, innovation is keep the product quality low. It was not until the trade reforms of the 1990s that the sector began to thrive, benefiting from the foreign investment and increase the competition. This example important as have their own important lessons. Protectionist policies must be temporary, strategically targeted, and tied to measurable goals. Next, I will pass to the next presenter to continue with the presentation.
Okay, thank you. So for the next argument, protectionist policies are often used to correct trade imbalances between countries, particularly when a nation faces a trade deficit. A trade deficit occurs when a country imports more than it exports, increasing reliance on foreign goods. This imbalance can weaken domestic industries, reduce local production capabilities, and lead to greater foreign debt. Additionally, it may create vulnerability, especially in times of global crisis or geopolitical instability. In contrast, a trade surplus where exports exceed imports is often seen as a sign of economic strength and competitiveness. To address trade imbalances, countries may implement protectionist measures such as import quotas, tariff, and subsidies. These actions aim to reduce imports, encourage local production, and boost exports. For example, tariffs make foreign goods more expensive, encouraging consumers to buy domestically. However, while these measures can offer short-term benefits, they often come with unintended consequences: higher consumer costs, retaliatory tariffs from trade partners, and inefficiencies in protected sectors can undermine long-term economic stability. A clear example of protectionist in action is the US-China trade war, which began in 2018. The US imposed tariff on over 330 billion worth of Chinese goods to reduce its annual trade deficit with China. The hope was that by increasing the cost of Chinese imports, American companies would shift their supply chains to domestics or alternative sources, thus boosting US manufacturing and closing the trade gap. While the US did reduce its trade imbalance with China in the short term, the overall trade deficit remained largely unchanged as imports continued from the other low-cost countries. Furthermore, US businesses that depended on Chinese components faced increased costs which were passed on to consumers. In retaliation, China imposed tariff on US agricultural products, affecting American farmers and leading the US government to offer subsidies, which further eroded the potential benefits of the trade war. While there were some concessions from China, the trade war did not significantly lower the overall trade imbalance or lead to the desired revival of American manufacturing. And the second example is after World War II, Japan worked hard to rebuild its economy and reduce its reliance on imports. The government raised taxes on foreign goods and set strict rules, encouraging people to buy local products. It also supported industries like electronics, steel, and cars with subsidies and loans. By the 1970s, Japan had turned its trade deficit into a surplus with successful global brands like Sony and Toyota. However, Japan faced criticism from other countries, especially the US, for blocking foreign products. This led to the 1985 Plaza Accord, which helped adjust Japan's currency and balance trade. Next one.
Right, thank you so much, Wan Hafiza. So I'm going to continue my presentation. So good afternoon, everyone. So today I will discuss the argument of protecting domestic employment as a constant for constant of protectionist economic policy. So basically, this concept underscore how government use tools such as tariff, quotas, and trade restriction to safeguard local jobs and industry in increasingly globalized world. So I'm going to provide definition and importance of protecting domestic employment first. So basically, this policy aims to maintain economic stability, reduce social inequalities, and safeguard livelihood threatened by globalization and cheaper foreign imports. So there are some challenges faced by domestic industry. For example, lower labor costs in developing countries, economic of scale enjoyed by multinational corporation, regulation in some countries that lower production costs. So without government intervention, this industry risks decline, resulting in significant job losses and regional economic hardship. So to encounter these challenges, government employ these protectionist measures like tariff, quotas, and other trade restrictions. So basically, tariff is a taxes on import to make foreign goods more expensive. Quotas is a limit on the quantity of foreign goods entering the market, and other trade restriction is like policy or regulation, something like that. So basically, this measure provide domestic industry with time to adapt, innovate, and modernize, enabling them to remain competitive. So I have two examples here. So the first one is U.S. steel tariff on 2002. So let's consider the U.S. Steel tariff of 2002 under President George W. Bush. So basically, what is the objective? The objective is to protect the domestic steel industry from cheap imports, mainly from China and the Europe European Union. So what is the outcome of this thing is the job losses in steel sector were very certain, and some companies reported improved revenues. So there are also some challenges on this. So basically, it increased steel costs, hard industry like automotive and construction, leading to lockjaws in those sectors. So international trade partners retaliated and the WTO later deemed the tariff illegal. So we move forward for the example two. What I have here is the US steel and aluminum tariff on 2018. So just now I'm talking about 2002, so I'm moving forward to 2018. So basically, the objective for this thing is to revitalize domestic metals industry and protect jobs as well. So what is the outcome? The outcome is short-term gain included increased production and also plant in reopening. However, there are also some challenges for this. So there are three challenges that I have identified through the journal. So first one is higher cost for industry relying on steel and aluminum. The second one, retaliatory tariff from trade partners and limited net job gains with increased cost passed on to consumer. So basically, the analysis of success for this thing. So the 2002 and 2018 cases highlighted the dual edge nature of protectionist policy. So there is short-term success and also long-term success. So basically, for short-term success, the industry like steel is temporarily very stabilized and jobs were saved or created in targeted sector. For long-term challenges, higher costs for downstream industry reduce the competitiveness and also retaliatory measures strain trade relation and affect export. So this example underscore the need for a balanced and comprehensive approach when implementing the protectionist measure. So protecting domestic employment is just not about the saving job. It's also about addressing the border social and also economic issue. There's a lot of things they need to consider, like social impact, economic stability, and also innovation opportunity. So in conclusion, while protectionist policy can safeguard domestic employment in the short term, they also often a very significant trade-off. So policymakers must carefully design such measure to minimize negative impact on downstream industry. So anticipate international reaction and align with the global trade norms. By doing so, government can strike a balance between preserving job and fostering long-term economic growth. So that's all for argument three. I'm going to pass to the argument four, which done by Vilmara Segar. So I'm passing to the next presenter. Thank you.
All right, so good day everyone. My name is Vimal Rajasekhar and today I will present argument for safeguarding national standards, which justify protectionism as a means to protect health, safety, and environmental standards. While initiate, such measurement often create challenges for the trade and economies. So, for the argument is protectionism help maintain national standard, particularly in the essential industry like food, pharmacies, and environment goods, where the small lapses can serious consequences. So, however, enforcing these standards often disputes trades and increase costs. So, for the example one is the US zero tolerance policy, which is the US Food Safety Modernization Act 2011 impose strict standard for imported food, which is the positive while is engage consumer safety, and the negative side is which is banned some import raises food prices and limited choice leading to the acquisition of the trade barrier. And then for the example two is EU REACH regulation, which is the EU REACH regulation 2007 manage ozone chemicals. So from there, the positive side is higher safety and environment standards. And from that, the negative side is costly compliance for the non-EU producer, reduced competition, and higher consumer prices. And from this argument four, we are analyzing that both examples show that while protectionism protect consumer, it's often, which is dispute international trades, create inefficiency, and increase costs for the business and consumers. So for the conclusion is safeguarding national standard is the vital but comes with the trade-offs. Policymakers must balance public health protections with international cooperation to create harmonious global standards that benefits to all the consumer. So thank you. I'm happy to take this question. So I pass to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you so much, Bill Maras. It's very good presentation for me. Okay, so basically we're moving forward to argument 5, which is national security concern and protectionism. So basically, I'm going to discuss protectionism and national security, exploring how government use protectionist policy to safeguard critical industry essential for resilience during time of crisis. So let's dive into the role of protectionism in ensuring national security. So basically, the protectionism in the context of protectionism in the context of national security goes beyond economic interests, so it focuses on safeguarding industry critical to a country, independence and survival, such as defense, energy, telecommunication, food production, and many more examples actually. So by ensuring this industry remain under national control, countries reduce their reliance on foreign supply, especially in times of crisis or conflict, thereby they preserving their sovereignty. So why national security require protectionism? So over dependence on a foreign supplier in critical sector expose nation to supply chain disruption during crisis or sabotage, also a strategic disadvantage in global conflict. So protectionism is policy help to mitigate this risky by prioritizing domestic control over essential resources and also technologies. So here also we have two example here, very interesting example. So basically the first one is the US National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA of 2018. So basically, the objective is to prevent potential security threat by restricting the use of Chinese-made components in military technologies. So what is the key feature is to enforce the Buy American policy for defense procurement and also to to eliminate the risk of sabotage. So the outcome of this thing is to strengthen the domestic defense industry, ensure the integrity of US military operation, and all. But however, it also increased the cost and also slowed the innovation in some areas. Okay, we move forward for the case study number 2. So the EU technological sovereignty and ASML thing. So basically, it's a similar approach was seen in the European Union decision to block the sale of ASML, a key Dutch semiconductor company, to a Chinese firm in 2019. So it's basically when we're talking about 2019, it's just happened five to 6 years ago, still recent case study here. So why ASML is matters? So semiconductor are vital for both civilian and also military technologies. So the European Union concern is they will lose control over this technology could compromise Europe's security. So the impact of this decision secure Europe technological sovereignty and also strengthen the both economic and security capabilities by maintaining control over critical asset. So when we are talking about balancing protectionism for national security, it also come with a lot of challenges as well. Every decision also have some consequences that need to consider as well. So the first one is higher cost. So domestic production is often more expensive. Also slower innovation. Threat restriction can limit access to global advancement, innovation, technologies, and also it's also effect on the economic inefficiency. It reduce a competition may hinder the productivity. So however, in an era of rising geopolitical tension, these trade-offs are often deemed necessary to ensure long-term resilience and also security. So, in conclusion, protectionism play a very critical role in safeguarding national security by preserving control over essential industry, reducing dependence on a foreign supply, enhancing resilience during crisis or conflict. Although it's introduced to a certain challenge, the benefit of maintaining sovereignty and also security often outweigh in the drawback. So as a geopolitical risks continue to rise, protectionism remain a vital tool for a nation to protect their strategic interests. So I think that's all from me for argument 5. We will move forward for our conclusion. I will pass back to Wan Hafiza for the conclusion part.
Okay, thank you, Nasra. So for the conclusion, basically protectionism, when carefully implemented, can help protect local businesses, national standards, and security, but it also brings both benefits and challenges. For example, supporting emerging industries like South Korea's auto sector can drive economic growth. However, measures like tariff and quotas, such as those seen in the US-China trade war, often lead to higher consumer prices, retaliatory actions, and strained international relations. Similarly, protectionism aimed at preserving domestic jobs like the US steel tariff may offer short-term relief but often reduce global competitiveness. National security policies, while bolstering sovereignty and also hinder innovation and competition. To be effective, protectionist policies must be strategic, well-targeted, and temporary, striking a balance between safeguarding national interests and maintaining global trade cooperation. And this is our references we get from journal and article. So basically, that's it for our presentation. So thank you, madam.
Thank you and have a good day. So if any question, can get back to us through WhatsApp or any other platform. So I think that's all from our group. Thank you so much for lending your ears. We hope you have a good day. That's all.